Yep. Two, what up? What's going on? Happy Monday. It's the 7th. The first Monday of the month. Shout out to everybody that's on Tube. Let's let the home team in real quick. Home team, you are now welcome. Let's get to your seats in an orderly fashion.
What's going on? What's going on? How are you? A lot going on, man. Traveled around the world in 14 days.
Couple time zones.
And now we back, man.
Few time zones.
Very grueling.
Few countries.
Takes a lot out of you. Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody has to do it. We the chosen ones.
It's a lot to talk about today. Election tomorrow.
Yep.
It's a lot going on right now in the stock market, in the business world, in the world, period. So welcome back to Market Mondays.
Yeah, we back home. Back on the throne. Ian, what up?
Wow. London, England, south of France.
And all the spots in between to know about your man.
Can meet you out, ladies, when I'm out in Japan.
Ichiro Giant.
We can get the karaoke tour going right now.
I'm ready, bro. You know I'm ready.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
Little under, man, but we, nothing stops the show. Nothing stops it. Nothing stops it.
The show must go on.
You two won't strike us for using Jay-Z lyrics, will they?
I hope not.
Hopefully not.
I hope
Hopefully not, man. That'll be hard. You get straight every episode. That's the case.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but yeah. Shout out to everybody. We're gonna put on a great performance tonight. A lot going on. First,
I can grab the leather jacket if y'all feeling down.
I got my shades ready, man.
Nah.
Let's go.
Well, first and foremost, rest in peace to Takeoff.
Absolutely. God rest his soul.
Very important. And we acknowledged that at the beginning of the show because we got that news. We was in Paris, actually.
On the train, yeah. It was headed to Paris.
I found out when I was got up. I was asleep for a little bit. Took the train from London to Paris and woke up and they told me that Takeoff had died. So it was kind of crazy because I don't know. I feel like Takeoff, that's not somebody that, you never expect anybody to pass away, but Migos is a legendary group. They're one of the best groups of
all time.
Ever.
If not the best, if you look at their catalog.
And their contribution to sound.
Yeah. So it's just like, that just kind of threw me off, and especially the circumstances that surrounded his death. So extremely.
He never bothered nobody, man. That's the sad part.
Quiet, mild-mannered.
Stay out of the way, no drama.
Yeah. Condolences to his whole family. Condolences to Quavo, Offset, the whole QC family. It's an absolute tragedy. Absolute tragedy. Senseless.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
Y'all be careful out there.
Very unfortunate situation. So, prayers to his family for sure. And on a much lighter note, we have to acknowledge London.
Yeah.
Best Fest Europe was a
amazing
huge success. Shout out to everybody that played a part, from everybody that touched the stage to DJ to, all of the interviews that we did to everybody that came to the event.
Mm-hmm.
It was an amazing experience to have 4,000 people in a different continent. The first, real event that we've ever done outside of America. And especially at that venue. The venue is amazing. It's immaculate.
Yeah, I just
felt like a concert.
I said that to somebody. I'm like, the pictures don't even do it justice. Like when you walk in, the pictures can't do it. You have to experience.
Yeah, you have to be there.
Yeah,
it was an amazing experience. So, yeah.
Yo, shout out to everybody for showing up. I know we said we come in regal, but everybody that stepped on that stage delivered.
Looked great,
and they look great doing it. And so it's going to be a story. Shout out to all the videographers, 13th grade that came out and captured it. Ty, who was all over the place.
Yeah,
I don't
Ty
even
was
know.
moving everywhere.
I think Ty was under the stage at one point.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Ty was everywhere.
Shout out to Ashley and her team that, again, delivered at a very high level. It was incredible. And shout out to the UK, all the party. Shout out to Terrence J. Can we
Shout out Terrence.
Eastern Conference All-Star team.
shout out Terrence one time.
Came with the All-Star team. It did not disappoint. Shout out to, the Halloween party was legendary also. And Tate. Shout out to Tate. But
Shout out
there's too
to
many
Tate.
people to
Yes,
shout out.
yes.
Shout out to everybody, man. Halloween party was legendary. The whole time, man. Such a great city. I really, really enjoy London. And London is
It's a beautiful
vibe.
city.
It's a vibe. London is
Yeah,
a vibe.
it's like a clean New York with no rats.
Yeah.
Did not see a rat. This is true. I did not see a rat.
I didn't see a leaf in London. I'm like, damn, you don't let the leaves touch the ground? Oh,
London is
immaculate city.
And we still put out Market Mondays on that day. So Market Mondays
Right before the
continues.
show. Yeah.
Continues.
Yes.
They said I had on my Kirk Franklin pastor outfit. That was funny in the comments, y'all. That was good. I'm bringing that back next week. That was good.
Hey,
We're gonna do
Ian,
the Stomp remix.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Your video recap of the event, immaculate, bro. I want to tell you. I saw you today. I didn't tell you that. It was incredible. The transitions were dope. The shots were dope, man. Kudos to your team. It looked incredible.
Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Daryl. Funny part, like I met Daryl when I was shooting in South Duval with Ash Cash. I can't wait for the episode to come out. And he was like, yeah, I'm supposed to be over there with you in London. And I'm like, I know this is gonna be legendary. So shout out to the team. Like Daryl's so amazing. We finished shooting Ash Cash show. I'm like, you color graded this already? He like, no, this is the way I shoot. I'm like, boy, whatever that fee is, be so good that they cannot deny your high premium price.
That's a fact.
It was fine.
Incredible.
It was fine.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into and shout out to Good Day New York. Rosanna Scotto.
Yeah.
We did that this morning.
We gave a little bit away this morning.
All three of us. Yeah, that was a legendary situation. Good Day New York is very important, especially if you're from New York. If you're from New York, that means a lot. So it was an honor to do that this morning. A lot of good information in a short period of time. Actually, looking back on the replay, it was actually very impactful. 6 minutes. So shout out to the good folks at Fox 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
And happy birthday to my pops, man. I know he's watching this
Happy
right
birthday
now.
to your dad. That's
yeah,
amazing.
75. We took him out to celebrate that. It is a milestone. He is the oldest of his generation. You know, his brothers never made it to 75. His mother never made it to 75.
Wow.
And so he made it 75. And I was, happy that we all got to celebrate him. So I know you watching. I know you smiling. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I gotta send some cupcakes or something. You got Cash App? I don't know if you got Cash App.
Yeah, I
gotta send something to the house.
Nah, you ain't got a Cash App.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Mr. Millens. Okay, so this is very important week for Earn Your Leisure. Tomorrow, Steve Harvey Invest Fest episode comes out. A lot of gems, a lot of untold stories. Round 2 of the legendary, round 1 changed the world. So round 2, this is round 2. Legendary. We're dropping it as an episode tomorrow, 8:00 Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and all podcast outlets. And tonight on Revolt, shout out to my boy Drewski. That is the episode on Revolt right now. It's so crazy because people don't understand like the business behind. Like he's actually an extremely intelligent business person who's been killing the game. And he talked about, how he built his social media following, how he got like an 8-figure tour deal this year.
Wow.
Yeah, he's killing on the tour, on the tour side, content. A lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily just think about when you see Drewski, but he's killing it and he's making a lot of money. So
is that how you got Chloe?
Chloe.
You got her?
Bailey.
No.
Never know.
But who knows?
I thought that was Gunner's girl. He locked up. Hold your head.
Strangest things have happened.
Hold your head.
Strangest things have happened. But so check that episode out. Assets over liabilities tonight at 9:00, and then it's on Revolt, so it comes on television all the time. And then YouTube, Revolt's YouTube at 5:00. And shout out to Geechee Gotti.
Yeah.
Hey.
For
that was hard.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Greg Self. He told me yesterday, like, yo, I don't know if y'all into battle rap, but there's a big battle. I'm like, who? He's like, Geechee Gotti versus Murder Mook. I'm like, of course. I actually follow Geechee Gotti. I'm like, of course, I know them. And he's like, yo, Geechee just made a EYL reference. So I had to look. And it was a very clever bar. He said,
it was
you're not an asset no more, you're a liability. And he said something to the effect of Choice tired of paying you. So it was a double entendre because Smack, his name is Troy.
Which I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So it was very clever wordplay because obviously assets over asset liability, and then Troy's tired of paying you. So everybody knows that, Troy. But he tied it in with Troy as opposed to Troy being Smack. And he's tied in because, like I said, he follows, he's tapped in. So I already know that that's not a coincidence. So very clever wordplay.
Grown man bars.
Very clever wordplay. Shout out to Geechee Gotti and shout out to Murder Mook and shout out to Smack. We gotta get him on because Smack DVD is legendary.
Whoa, legendary.
I actually been watching that since college. I remember when they was in the hat stores and the clothing
street
stores.
Corners with it.
Yeah, Murder Mook is a legend too. So, all right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Ian, any announcements?
Yes, Stock Club call will happen tomorrow. We'll be back from London, so I'm happy to talk to everybody in Stock Club. Hutch and David will be on tomorrow at 9:30 Central. Everyone's been asking me about the Black Friday deal, $500 per month. Yes, that will come out on Black Friday. Alpha will come back in December, and Dream Team Trading Room is coming soon. If I made you money, please put yes in chat and wire me some money. Love
Please.
y'all.
Good folks, we want to let you know about a great choice if you're looking to bank or invest. Ally is a leading digital financial service company with passionate customer service, innovative financial solutions, and relentlessly focused on doing it right for both customers and our communities. Get with Ally so you can save, invest, and spend on the things that matter most to you. For everything we need, we are all better off with the Ally. Shout out to the good folks at Ally. Shout out to UM. We just got off the phone with the UM team. We got something brewing.
December?
As always, we brewing.
Get your clothes together. If you miss London's fashion week, there will be another one in December.
That's the early signal. Yeah, get your fits ready.
We're working on a revamp of EYL University, something big that we'll announce.
Yeah, another bomb.
We'll announce.
All right, folks. Yeah, no, this works really quickly. All right. Our content, well, do your own research first and foremost. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional connection with or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Good folks, please continue to do your research. If it's great research, share it. Please do not duplicate Ian's research. We don't appreciate that, and he doesn't appreciate it. But this is a measure brought to you by the good brothers at Earn Your Leisure and the good brother Ian Delab, the master investor himself. Continue to do it, y'all. It pays off.
Love y'all dearly. And for those of you who were at InvestFest Euro, I'll send Troy a shot the slides tonight. If you're in Stock Club, you'll have them tonight uploaded. But because Trap and I didn't get to finish our presentation, so the least we can do is give you the slides for free. So you guys will have that if you were at InvestFest Euro this week. Mr. Over Deliver.
Yeah.
So we got to do what we can. And everyone drop your cash apps in the comments tonight. I will be picking 5 of you to bless you.
I was wondering what was going on. I see a lot of cash apps going on already. I'm trying to figure out what I missed something, but okay.
And we have an announcement about Market Mondays Live. We'll do that in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's start the show, and then we can build some anticipation and build some numbers.
Let the beat build.
All right. So what is the streaming trade that you like for the fourth quarter, and who is a quiet victor in this space that no one is talking about?
Perfect. So I want you guys to write this down. There are a couple companies that you can trade. The streaming wars are intensifying. There'll be a couple of winners. So number one, Roku. You want to look for a Roku short. Before I get into the entire trade, though, trading has considerable risks. Please consult your advisor. Do not overtrade. If you have not practiced trading, this is not an easy play for you just to make money and then go blow it on some girl you met on Instagram. So please be careful. Roku short. Netflix number 2. We're looking to go long. Paramount.
Okay.
LaRazo Netflix.
Yep.
Paramount short. Disney short. Microsoft long. So Roku short, Netflix long, Microsoft long, Paramount short, Disney short. And you only get one trade in this quarter for this trade. So I know some people are probably saying why Microsoft doesn't have streaming. They built the ad platform for the ad supported part for Netflix. So when I keep going back to who has the biggest bag, they're going to get in every industry. They helped facilitate that $6 per month or $7 a month advertising stream for Netflix. So long Microsoft, long Netflix, which I haven't been in a while, short Roku, short Paramount, short Disney, do short targets. And also for my traders, if you are shorting in the market intraday when there's a lot of volume, put your stop loss at the top of the market of the previous day. And if you're going long, put your stop at the bottom of the market for the previous day. You have to give your trades enough room to breathe. So if you have like a really tight stop in this volatile market, you're going to get clapped. You don't want that. So give your trades some room to breathe. You want to do one each and only one per quarter. So one trade for Roku, one for Microsoft, one for Netflix, one for Paramount, one for Disney. After that, stop. If you do more than that, you may get destroyed. How some Meta employees will this week. I will be there Wednesday. Zuckerberg, cut my check, please, so I can save this company. Apply pressure.
I was listening to it, and that was for the fourth quarter, correct? We're talking about just the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Yeah, so I know people are like, wait, Disney. I'm so yes, I agree. And it's funny when I looked at the notes and it was like, what's the quiet victor in the space? I think the king of the hill is the quiet victor in the space, and that's Netflix, which is interesting because for the past, 8 to 12 months, we've just been saying like, how are they going to do it? How are they going to do it? Where are they going to get revenue from? We saw subscriber growth go down for 2 quarters. And then in the third quarter, we saw growth, which was interesting because nobody was expecting it. And so they gained like 2.4 million subscribers in the third quarter, and they're projecting to have about 4.8. Now, those numbers obviously are down from the peaks when they were getting like 8 million subscribers, 7 million subscribers a quarter. But it's encouraging, right? Because they've reversed the course of how they were gaining subscribers. Plus, they have new way to get revenue, right? Like nobody's talking about it, but yeah, like they unleashed their ad revenue model where you're gonna pay $6.99 and you're gonna get ads in it, and if you don't, you got to pay more. So that's the first thing where they're gonna gain revenue, which is all right. This is great because they're already leading the space. Although Disney has caught up to them as far as subscribers, I think the other part is the international growth. And that's what they're so far ahead in that space, right? And I'm not even talking about just in North America where they have I think they had over 70 million subscribers last quarter. But if you look at what they're doing in the Asian Pacific market, it's
crushing it.
It's pretty impressive. In fact, out of all the regions that they are offered in, the growth is exceeding in that market even more so than North America. I think North America has probably been about 70 to 80 million consistently throughout the past 12 months. If you look at what it's done in Asian Pacific, I mean, it looks like a chart in itself where it's like, all right, this is something we need to be involved in. So it's interesting that when we were thinking about the quiet killer in this space, it's probably the king of the castle, and that would be Netflix. I think another one to keep an eye on though is this HBO merger with Discovery. Just from a standpoint, just from the standpoint of 2 companies that actually are facilitating needs that they don't have, right? So HBO, before even they had HBO Max, wasn't the greatest like streaming service. Like if you ever had it, it was like you try to pause it, it cuts off. You try to rewind it, it cuts off. So they had customer issues with that. Discovery is probably the #1 rated. If you look at the statistics, the #1 rated streamer. They just don't have the content. So if you match the 2 together, it makes for a good partnership because HBO has the content and they have a loyal base and they have shows that people actually watch, whether it's House of Dragons or it's Euphoria, which is huge. I know
they have some hits on their platform now.
Succession is big for them. So when you combine those 2 things, I think it's an interesting one to keep your eye on in the streaming world.
And also, if you look at any sector, I want you guys to write this down. If you take the top 5 players, usually 3 of them are going to do really well. The other 2 are going to fall during a bullish market, during a bearish market. 2 are going to do really well. 3 are going to fall. So this is like a trade that you can run in almost every sector. So you can even look in like the cannabis market, oil and gas market, tech. So I'll probably short Meta, long Apple, long Microsoft, short Snap, I don't need any more tech enemies. But you can find 5 players in any space and do this like diversion trade where you're a long 2 and short 3. So for those of you to do options, I wouldn't load the boat because like we've kind of hit the bottoms on a lot of these, but it is a good trade if you are into trading stocks or trading options to do this kind of diversion split in a sector.
All right, we'll monitor the situation. Let's talk about this.
That's Rashal's new quote for when he doesn't agree. I'm catching on. That boy good. Boy good. All right, well.
We shall keep a close eye on this.
Yes.
A U.S. senator has been shorting the U.S. economy by buying the Bear ETF. Is this wrong, and how can we take advantage of it?
Call him out. Say his name.
That I don't want to do. I've learned to stay out of politics. I'm good. I learned from Power.
A senator from Delaware. We'll say that. How's
yes.
that? We'll
it's the ticker is HDGE. So it's hedge. Is it wrong? I mean, I think eventually at some point they will stop politicians from being able to invest and trade in the capacity that they are now. I'm glad Pelosi's husband is okay. He got attacked, and a lot of people said that was because of the proposed insider trading stuff that was going on. But there is a quote, I've mentioned it before. We talked about it earlier with like politics in the upcoming election. The purpose of ascertaining or gaining money is to get power and then using that power to protect the capital that you've ascertained. I don't think that is wrong, but I think when you are not alerting the public, if I were running for Congress or senator or anything, I would let my constituency in on the moves that I'm being a part of. So HDGE, I don't absolutely love, but if you got it at $24 a couple months ago, rolled it up to 32, it was a good trade. It's an inverse ETF. I like UVXY a little bit better. These I would only hold for maybe 2 to 3 days maximum. But I want everyone to be aware that even when the market is falling apart, there are ways that you can make money, whether by buying a company, one, at a great price that is like at a 5 or 10 year low, number 2, investing in an inverse ETF, or number 3, like trading your way to having more gains. Do I think it is wrong? No. I think the process should be a lot more open. And I really think in the next 2 or 3 years, if senators or politicians are going to invest in these kind of companies or get the information flow and take advantage of it through a significant other, they should do it on an open platform where everybody in the world is able to see, so that they're able to take advantage of it in real time.
Yeah. I don't know. Something rub. I just didn't. I wasn't feeling it. I'll be honest with you. When you realize who the gentleman is, and you realize that the chair that he sits in, he's on the Senate Finance Committee.
That's interesting,
right? Like,
yeah,
something about that just doesn't sit well, right? Like, you obviously have information that the general public doesn't, and so I'm with you on the fact that if you're going to do it, let's put it on the open platform where people are aware of it. But the fact that you sit on the Finance Committee and you're trading, I don't know.
I mean, it's been happening for decades. I think
right.
that people are just becoming aware of it as of recent. So
yeah, I think the Pelosi thing brought a lot of attention to it, and then to see those trades become so successful, and it was like, wait, hold on.
She has the real crystal ball. Pelosi is undefeated.
Well, she lost. I think she might have did it intentionally with some of the trades.
Or was that tax loss harvesting as well? Like when I went back and looked at it around the time when she was doing it, some of it was to save face, but I was wondering if some of those losses were to offset for another reason. But yeah, that track record is insane. But yeah, you can take advantage of it. And I've given a couple sites before. Homework time. What are the sites that would allow you to track what the senators are trading? Please put them in chat. That will be our first Cash App winner of tonight. Speaking of winning, is it possible we can talk about Madison Square?
Yeah, let's do it. So Madison Square Garden, we have an announcement. So if you've been following, obviously, we're doing a live show at Madison Square Garden on 11/27.
Yes.
And, we have Mouse Jones there doing trap karaoke. We have Josh Brown from CNBC. We have Peter Tuchman, Einstein of Wall Street. A lot of people loved his episode that we did live from Wall Street. We have Don Peebles, who is the most successful Black real estate developer in American history. building a skyscraper, Black-owned skyscraper in New York City. Musical performer, legendary
Mm.
Jada Kiss. will
Shout
be
out to the
in
king.
the
Put your
building
hands up.
for a special performance, and this is actually the same stage that that legendary Dipset Locks battle happened on. So
I need to hit a freestyle live though.
Yeah, we play on the jersey out the rafter.
Yeah. So Jada Kiss will be in the building. It's so crazy because I was in Yonkers the other day, and I had like a check. I went to my doctor. My doctor's in Yonkers, so I was in the area. So I'm like, I'm gonna pull up on Styles, and they got a juice bar. So I'm like, I'm gonna get some juice. So I pulled up on a juice bar to get a juice, and who do I see outside? Jada Kiss.
King himself.
Yeah. He's with my guy Sticks. Shout out to Sticks. So they was outside just chilling. So I ended up having like a half an hour conversation. So he's looking forward to it. He's locked in. Jada Kiss will be in the building. Magical performance on 11/27. And
Yes.
we still got some more tricks up our sleeve. So the thing about it is that, as reference point, you saw what happened in London. You saw what happened in Atlanta. You saw what happened last year in Apollo. Like, anytime we do these things, and what happens is that as they get closer to the date, the momentum just keeps building, building, and building, and building, and building. And then eventually there's no more tickets left. So don't wait till the last minute. Get your tickets, Madison Square Garden. I'll put the link in, I'll pin the link. But this is gonna be one of them ones, man. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you or try to overhype the situation.
Nope.
This is one of them ones, man. Madison Square Garden, Black Friday, weekend. Everybody that I just named, you got real estate, you got stocks, you got top DJ. We even named DJ Suss1 will be in the building.
Shout out to Sus.
Let's
Hometown.
go.
What up? What up?
Power 105. Jada Kiss. It's so many elements. There's so many elements to this thing, man. And like I said, we're not even done yet. So this is going to be, it's going to be up there as one of the greatest performance of the year. And that's not easy to do. So it's going to be a hell of a performance.
I mean, I've been undefeated on these stages. Tune in next week. We may announce another person that's been undefeated. I don't know. Amy, send the paperwork over back to them, and then we. Yeah, I'm ready to go crazy next week. This announcement come through. Y'all thought I was screaming in Vegas. Oh, baby, get your popcorn ready for next week. And the 25 stocks to invest in during a recession, the 50 not to touch, 2 new trading strategies. Man, if I made you money, please put us in chat.
And you get the bundle pack for Ian. It's a variety of different things. You get
Sniper program, stock club.
Yo,
I'm gonna step over your point. Go ahead.
Get your ticket. That's
just my passion talking.
Get your ticket. Get your ticket while they still last, man. You get tickets as low as $75, man. Get your tickets as long as they last. And everybody always asks what we do for New York. This is it, man. Like,
we may go to Brooklyn Chop House after. Who knows?
The official after party.
For real.
The last
shout out to the Bronx. We're gonna move around.
So
East Orange, Newark. We're gonna be out. What we doing?
I pinned the link. The link is also in the description of this video. It's also on our website. Get your tickets and don't miss history. And shout out to Jada Kiss, one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Absolutely.
Never lost.
914.
And kudos to him and his dad for launching the coffee company. You remember the full name of it? I don't want to misquote it.
I'll get it for you right now. It's his son as well. Shout out to his son.
Oh, your son as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 generations.
That's incredible.
Shout out to Jada Kiss, man. Well, while we're on that political conversation, tomorrow's a big day. It is the midterm elections, and there's a lot of talk, and it's a very pivotal race. A lot of governors, Senate race, congressmen, a lot going on. A lot of people already voted, early voting. But if you didn't vote early, then you can vote tomorrow. So I was talking to 19 Keys yesterday.
I was just going to ask, should we even be voting?
Yes. So I was talking 19 keys yesterday. So first of all, shout out to Jamal Bowman.
Yes.
He is our congressman. Good dude.
Yeah, 16th district.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good dude. We had a great conversation with him, and an extremely educational conversation with him. So 19 Keys put a post up, and I don't want to misquote him, but he was pretty much saying that voting is not the end all be all answer to the situation.
Yes.
And he got some pushback from people saying like, you gotta vote. It's very important to vote. It's ignorant to say not to vote.
Pushback.
But here's the deal. And I actually had a good conversation with him. I had an epiphany when speaking to Jamal Bowman, is that voting actually is beneficial. It actually is important, but it's only half of the equation. That's what they don't tell you. That's
now, what is the other half of the equation, Rashad?
Cliffhanger. Are you on the edge of your seat, ladies and
next
gentlemen?
week, right?
Tune in next week.
Move closer to the screen.
It's a square garden. So
one small part.
So there's these things called PACs, right? Political action committees, and then they have super PACs, right? So these are what's called lobbying groups. And Washington government is controlled by lobbyists. You have very strong lobbyists you have the NRA, which is the gun, obviously National Rifle Association, extremely strong lobby. You have the pro-life lobby, very, very strong. You have pro-choice lobby, very strong. You have AIPAC, which is the lobby for the state of Israel, which I was told by congressman is the strongest lobby out of any lobby. You have a variety of different lobbies. You have all kinds. You have the tobacco lobby. You got the insurance lobby. You got the pharmaceutical lobby, healthcare lobby. You got so many different lobbies, right? So here's the thing that people need to understand.
I'm gonna do what Troy's doing. I'm gonna sip some water real quick.
So voting is important, right? Because it's like, people, you have to have elected officials. But when he's talking to the congressman, and he said his first day in office last year, he got like 100 calls from the pro-life lobby. They put a lot of pressure on him. And he was like, every single day his office gets calls and emails from all kinds of different lobbies. The one group that he's never gotten a call or email from is a black lobby. Because there is none. So this is the problem, right?
Small ones, but just
none significant.
Significant ones, yep.
So this is the problem, right? You keep encouraging people to vote, but there's no pressure put on politicians to do anything. So this is why it's a perpetual cycle of frustration, because we're getting politicians elected, but we don't have enough economic power or enough wherewithal or enough even education to know what to do when they get elected or even before they get elected. So other groups are actually using our voting block, because we do have a significant voting block. They're using our voting power to get politicians elected to further their agendas. So the conversation that needs to be had now is not just voting. It's a conversation of political action committee and having a black super PAC, where now you can financially put pressure on politicians and force them to do things as opposed to just waiting for them to do something.
Or hoping that they'll do something.
Yes. That's the part of the equation that nobody's talking about. And the thing about it is, just drilling down on this situation even further, the problem is that, so if you got a super PAC like the pro-life, their thing is just one issue, right? Or pro-gun lobby, that's one issue. Or whatever the lobby is, they have one issue, singular. Where black people, it's like, 150 different issues and nobody agrees on anything. So it's extremely difficult, right? But you focus on one issue. So let's pick an issue that everybody can kind of at least agree upon on some level. Like
Let's not say it, though.
reparations. Don't say it. Why?
That's out
Why
the
not
bag. Go
say
ahead.
well, we said it on the episode. So I feel like if we have a super PAC on reparations, right? That's something that mostly everybody can agree upon. And you raise money. It doesn't even take that much money. Say $50 million is a nice super PAC. So now you have, all of the top athletes, entertainers, businessmen, and then regular people, grassroots. You should be able to raise that amount of money. And now you hand select the politicians that you want to run campaigns for, and then you put extreme economic pressure on them when they're in office, that if they don't do what you want to be done, they're not going to be in office next year. You're not going to fund their campaign. You're going, this dirty game, you run smear campaigns against them. This is what actually is really happening in real life. And now you become a more savvy block of voters, as opposed to just voting blindly with no real agenda to push and no real economic engine behind it. So there's a very involved conversation, but I think it's important to have, especially around election day, because I don't think that people are fully aware or educated on the political process, and they have good intentions. And they think that they're going out and they're voting, and that's something that is going to be beneficial. And it can be, but as a whole, collectively, it's really not. And this is why we're not making the same progress that other people are making in the political realm. So it's important to be educated on that. And it's important to take steps forward to kind of correct the situation.
Yeah.
I'm not a political expert, but Aaron does have a good quote in here that voting does have an impact, but money is way more impactful. Last week, I told you guys to check out Carl Icahn's documentary on HBO Max. So he would be called a corporate takeover artist or activist investor. What Rashad is proposing is the same process pretty much in a political landscape. Going back to that quote, power, money to get power, and then the power to then protect the money. It is an ongoing cycle. So when you see an activist investor come in like Icahn, and Icahn is really the reason why Apple has had the growth it has had the last 7 years in the stock market. He organized a group of people and met with Tim Cook and said, hey, if we can put this plan together, I will back you and put all of my dollars behind you. And as a result, the shareholders of Apple have benefited greatly. I being one of them. Thank you, Carl Icahn. We have to do the same thing in our community. So if you need a blueprint that has worked well at scale and corporate, that documentary is a great one. And other corporate takeover artists have tried to do similar things, but he's the most successful one. So interesting to say the least, but I'm staying out of the political realm.
And the thing about it is you can't be partisan either. These PACs, the PACs are not partisan. They'll back whoever is for their agenda. So it's like APAC. APAC, they'll put money in Republican campaigns, they'll put money in Democratic campaigns. The common theme is what they want accomplished. So it's like if you have an issue, you can't be held hostage to one political party. That's another problem.
Yes.
You have to have an open playing field, and whoever is going to push the agenda forward, that is who the money goes behind. That's extremely important. And also, it's important to hold these politicians accountable, because like he was telling us, the Congressional Black Caucus, I think there's like 46 members in the Congressional Black Caucus, which is the congressman. So he was saying right now, just with the Congressional Black Caucus, if they wanted to say, we're not voting, because Congress passes laws, they vote on laws. If we're not voting on any law until reparations gets passed or reparations gets brought up, they can literally shut down the government, just the Black people in Congress with no outside help. They have enough in Congress right now. He was like, the problem is that the backlash that'll come from that.
Yes, who's gonna finance them after they get fired? Yeah.
But as of right now, they have enough numbers to shut the government down right now and really force a real conversation on that issue. and I'm just using reparations because that's just a really,
Don't get choked up. It's
obviously
okay. We with you.
Now I'm just saying that it could be a variety. It could be criminal justice reform. It could be whatever, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, but most people don't even know that. Most people don't even understand how Congress works, the difference between Congress and the Senate and, the presidency and
House and Senate.
governor. No, it's the House of Representatives and Senate.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
not the House
Congress.
of Senate, the House and the Senate.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's Congress.
So a lot of people aren't fully aware of the educational process, but it's important. It's very important. And the voting thing, and like I said, I spoke to 19 Keys about this, and we had a very good conversation. And he's agreed with me that voting is important, but not in the way that we think about it. And I think a lot of people that are just, telling people just vote. I think they have good intentions,
Yes,
but they might not be fully informed on what really creates change.
voting with having no demands is the equivalent of being an activist in a company and owning that no equity or no shares of a company. It is a wasted venture or endeavor.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
needless to say, the episode is going to be very powerful. So make sure you check it out. And we talked about just the last point on it is like we saw 141 million people vote in the general election. 141 people, right? Obviously, Joe Biden had the majority vote there, but when it comes to midterm elections, people could care less, and it's the strangest thing. Like even when he talked about his journey to become a congressman and the lack of people that voted for the incumbent, it was just like, wait, that's all you needed? That's it?
Mhm.
Because people just don't really take midterm elections as seriously as they can, and these are the elections that can affect your everyday life. Yes, the presidential election is important, but these local elections are affecting your every
Have way more
day,
impact.
like your every single day.
Mhm.
And we still don't we don't know the information. We don't know who's running. We just get up and we say, all right, I'm going to vote today. And it's like, yo, that affects your life way more than you voting for the president.
Yeah. But Jamal Bowman,
The dude,
good dude. He does not take any PAC money or any corporation money. So, and he actually had enough common sense to sit down with us. You would think that that was 19 Keys situation. 19 Keys was like, yo, we got all this influence, we bringing all these people, and the politicians not even taking the time to even have a conversation with us. But you have to credit the ones that actually do. And he is somebody, I mean, he's our congressman for our district, which is
16.
part of the Bronx, and then it's Westchester,
North Bronx,
Yonkers,
New Rochelle,
White Plains, Greenburgh.
Yeah.
He's black guy. Obviously, his name is Jamal.
Former principal.
Former principal from the Bronx. But just a very, he opened my eyes, at least, to a lot of the things. A lot of stuff I knew, but sometimes somebody tells it to you. And he opened my eyes to a lot. And definitely a good dude. So if you're in those areas, you should vote for him. We try to stay non-political, but sometimes we do have our favorites. And he's a good guy. So yeah, shout out to Jamal Bowman. And if you're in Georgia, Herschel Walker does not seem like a good person to vote for, to be honest with you. He's scary. He's very scary.
Oh man.
What don't you like about Herschel? I don't. I just want it for the laughs and giggles. Go ahead.
Herschel Walker is extremely hard.
My Lord.
The problem, this is my problem with Herschel Walker. I'm not mad that he's a Republican. I'm not mad that he's pro-life, whatever. My issue is that you find a football player who has no career. Like, if they could have found somebody way better to represent the conservative views, right? Like you could
not in the era where everybody care about likes, not to cut you off, and viewership and sensationalism.
Well, a lot of people, I mean, Herschel Walker, let's be honest, a lot of people aren't even familiar with him. Like, I'm familiar with him because I'm from that era.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of kids that don't even know who Herschel Walker is. This is the first time even hearing about him. So
kids aren't voting though.
You take a mediocre football player, like, it's disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's enough that I'm sure if there was a black doctor, a black accountant who's conservative, who's pro-life, that you could have all the views that you want, but just get somebody that's actually qualified that can actually complete a sentence. He sounds like he got CTE. He's going crazy on these debates. he bugging out. Like it's hard for him to finish sentences, and I'm listening, and it's tarnishing his legacy because he's just running around with it. It's just nonsense. And then you run around with all these senators, and they back, and you know that he's not intelligent, and you're backing him. That's a slap in the face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know he's not intelligent, and it's something that is just like a joke, but you backing him,
and he's winning.
Maybe they're backing him on purpose for that reason.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
Easy puppet to control.
That's my whole point.
And he's at well, I mean, the preliminary polls have him leading right now, which is like even more so. Like,
Georgia, if Uncle Ruckus get in office,
what we doing, Georgia?
Uncle,
we gotta come to Atlanta.
Uncle Ruckus.
That's what it is. We gotta We've been out of Atlanta too long.
Yeah,
we gotta come back.
But whatever you choose
tomorrow. I mean,
tomorrow's a day.
You chose violence today.
Dr. Oz, he's out here. He's running. He's running
Pennsylvania.
He's running for senator, I believe, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Stacey Abrams, she's running for governor.
Yep.
It's a couple high profile.
Yeah,
situations.
some big states are up for grabs. And obviously it has an impact on the market.
Well, let's talk about that.
Let's go there.
So, speaking of impact on the market, go ahead.
So stock market usually goes up. This is a historical fact. We've talked about this several different times.
I got you.
Usually goes up after midterm elections, especially when the government is split. Meaning, like, so let's say the Republicans take control of the House. Now it'll be a split government where they have a Democratic president. So when it's not just like one party controlling all branches. Sure enough, the Dow Jones finished the day up 423 points. S&P was up 36 points. NASDAQ is up 89 points. And it looks like the market is up in after hours as well.
Yeah.
So
the real test will be tomorrow morning, though, because Mondays and Fridays have the highest probability of going up due to reporting to clients. But if we end up tomorrow and Wednesday, that is a great sign. Speaking of volatility in the market, if Trump announces that he is going to run for president again, that will throw some volatility in the market for sure. And with Elon having a Twitter platform, and I don't know, you may even see Trump on Parler with Ye. This will be a very interesting 2 years. Also, during times of economic calamity or economic downslide, you have a higher probability of a dictatorial like candidate winning and running for office. So I know it may be like a joke that Trump could come in and win.
No, that's not a joke.
No, that's real.
I mean, we spoke about that with the congressman. I think if Donald Trump decides that he wants to run, he at least has a 50% chance. His biggest problem will actually be getting elected from the Republicans because the Republican establishment doesn't like him because he went rogue. But I don't see how he doesn't have a very good chance of winning. If he can manage to get the Republican nomination, I think he wins. Yeah. I think he wins. The only thing that he might have a hard time getting a Republican nomination.
We got the criminal lawsuits too.
That's what I'm saying. He got a lot going on, but he has at least a 50% chance of winning, because at the end of the day, he still got millions and millions and millions of people that support him.
Yeah,
he had the second most votes
in the history. This is facts. Here's a quick
while acting like an idiot. Yeah. Imagine if he comes in and tries to act presidential and has a good VP and a good cabinet. If he finds a Rumsfeld next to him, he could be dangerous. But I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just to add to from a historical standpoint of midterms, I just wrote down some historical facts. So the S&P, I didn't even know this before reading it. The S&P has risen 15% in the 12 months after midterms since 1950. 15%. That's pretty ridiculous. All right. And so like when people are looking at, I know I'm glad that we broke down what the yields meant with Steve Leisman a couple of weeks ago, because here's what this means when Republicans break up the Democratic control. All right. So Congress would likely send historically high bond yields tumbling, given that Republicans' historic commitment to less government spending. So that's the first thing. And the other part of it is that will send stocks up as well, given the inverse relationship between bond yields and equity prices. And so if we see bond yields go down, obviously equity prices go up. So when we talk about how this can affect the stock market, right? If the Republicans can break the threshold of not having a Democratic control of the Congress, that's what that means, right? So you'll see that inverse: bond yields go down, equity prices go up.
Also, recessions are more likely to happen when a Republican is president. I mean, if they do see the bond yields lower, I mean, we're at some of the lowest levels we've had in hit. Like, hypothetically, if they go any lower, I'm looking at TOT. The low is $80.51. That would be the low from 2004. Like, how much more do they want the bond market to drop as a result? This is the first time in history, I think, in 90 years that a 80-20 equity and bond split is negative. Like, I mean, if you think Redfin and Zillow has collapsed, if you go look at the bond market, which I call August of 2020, when we hit the top, we've seen levels that we've never expected to hit in the bond market. The bond market has crashed like tech stocks, which is not supposed to do. You guys need to go do your research on if they do drive the bond market lower, what is the motivation and reasoning behind that? And at some point, they're going to erode the 401k market away so bad the way that they did pensions in the late 1970s and late 1980s as well, if they do. So,
all right. So let's talk about this. It looks like the Republicans will probably gain a lot of momentum from this election.
Shellacking for the Democrats, to quote Obama.
Potentially. So looks like we'll probably have a split government. So if history is any indicator, that means that this election will be good for the stock market, especially I think from tomorrow to April.
Yep.
It's the best time frame. So okay. Will the stock market have a nice run from tomorrow to April? Assuming things go the way that we think they will go, with the Republicans taking a lot of seats.
Troy, you want to go first, and then I can chime in?
No, I was going to say there's still factors, right? Like, obviously, outside of just the election. I think one of the things that people are not paying attention to is the CPI number comes in Thursday, and that will tell us where inflation is at. Where are we at with inflation? Is it cooling down or is it not cooling down? Do we have to raise more basis points? I think that's something that is extremely important, right? Because like if we're talking over the next 6 months, and if you look at historically where they're saying we're going to be in March with the rate, they're thinking like, all right, I've seen some projections at 4.85 to 5%, right? Like that's gonna, like, I don't care who's in office. Like if inflation keeps rising, that's still going to hurt the market. So I think there's a lot of other factors we have to pay attention to.
3 big things. We can get to it at some point, but the layoffs. You have Meta laying off, Zillow, Morgan Stanley is laying off people, and not because they want to. They have to make the balance sheet. Like, and for everyone listening at home, if you don't know, they're laying off. One of the first measures that you can take is to lay off people to get more liquidity in your company. When you have the biggest companies on the face of the earth laying off 13 to 20% of their workforce, it is a sign that things are really bad. Number 2, I read a stat that 49% of small business owners cannot pay their rent in the month of October. So those stats around the economy being better the 6 months after, that's why I was saying maybe 3 weeks ago, you need to go look at those stats and see if that's true when quantitative easing is not there. Quantitative easing was kind of like a hack if you had the stock market on God mode. And we can go into, if we want to later, the stuff with FTX and then run into liquidity issues. I remember even earlier this year when we was in Miami talking with Terrence, and I'm like, Coinbase could go out of business, and everyone thought I was crazy. And FTX could argue is more popular. They're having liquidity issues, and then there are some hedge funds that could be going out of business in the next 2 or 3 years. So I think the market overall, for sure, the S&P 500, the Dow is calibrated and weighted to always do well. But the rest of the general market, I am concerned about, especially since we're having all these layoffs.
All right.
Yeah, big layoffs. And Meta was up today, even with the announcement of all their layoffs.
It's the best thing, and I hate to say it's the best thing they've done in maybe 2 years. Like, they've hired too much. And once again, yes, I made the prediction about Meta falling apart. The death of Facebook, I called it February 24th of this year. Incredible talent. Once again, leadership needs to be adjusted. I really think Zuckerberg needs to go to that chairman role, but the layoffs is going to free up a bunch of money. The biggest issue is that they've overinvested in the metaverse, but they have incredible talent. I will say that, but they just hired too many damn people. It's like if you were on the NBA team and you hired 60 practice players.
Yeah.
It's like in theory, it was good when money was flowing through like crazy, but once interest rates adjust, and I don't think the Fed is going to stop adjusting these rates, and they've been a little bit too slow to react. So I think even if they do introduce quantitative easing back into the system, it may not be until 2026. They're going to destroy this market to get things back to normal. Unfortunately, normal is going to look like 2007 to 2008 all over again.
I mean, even with the layoff standpoint, when Elon was making the announcement that he was cutting the Twitter staff and people were just in an uproar, and it was like, okay, maybe the method that he's in, like by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, everybody, like 30% of you people are gone. That part might have been,
too rough,
a little rough, but
yes,
the next day was the most interesting part when Jack Dorsey apologized for hiring too many people. Exactly what you're saying that Meta has done. He said that we scaled this business too fast. I hired too many people as a CEO and the founder of the company. So for hearing that from him, it's like, that's a valuable lesson in business. Sometimes you cannot, you have to scale appropriately. If you scale too fast, things like this will happen. How many people came to work and now do not have a job because we scaled this too fast? We overhired.
And Apple goes back to this point I'm making about picking superstar players. Apple runs a $2 trillion company and their CFO only uses 7 people. 7. So once again, for every employee, and I was talking to Christy about this earlier today. I said it earlier this year. Every employee, I don't care what position you're in, the only way you're going to have job safety is if you are able to tell your boss, president, senior manager, hey, for whatever you're paying me, I'm getting 7X. You have to know. I don't care what position you're in. They're going to tell you that there are certain political games that you should not play and you cannot speak above a certain rank. If you do not know what revenue you're bringing to a business in a recession, you are going to get fired. And these are things they don't want to tell you because they don't want to make your value in the marketplace go up. Number 2, as you are scaling as a business owner, everyone you add to your team, if you have less than 50 employees, need to be able to 10 or 11 extra business. Hiring just to hire is a huge mistake. Fire fast, hire slow is a thing I've always been told. But the things I've been told in like the inner circle is like, if you're adding somebody to your team and they can't help you 10X, 11X, 20X, run a division and help you scale it in 6 to 8 months, you're actually losing money. And now that we're in the highest interest rate environment and it's harder to raise money, more competition, you have to take in consideration. Like, look at Facebook. Facebook is probably one of the greatest tech companies of all time, and they got ruined by too much debt. That investment into the metaverse is a liability. Big ass L. The talent that they have is an asset, but it does not offset the spending there. When you're spending $50 billion on something that no one asked for, and like the porn stars won't even use the metaverse yet, which is usually a telltale sign for tech for something to be viable. This is not me being salacious. This is historical fact, right? There's a reason why like laser disc versus DVD took off. There's certain industries that they'll test. So when you see the OnlyFans girls get on the metaverse, maybe it'd be some viability. There's not many on there.
We gotta wait for the porn to get in the Oculus. Got you.
Fellas, do your research, but don't get caught up and don't lose your relationship listening to me, because I'm gonna be all right.
Got you.
Yeah. Rashad, shall we monitor the situation or no?
Definitely monitor the situation.
We're going to closely watch the situation.
Sure. There's some debate in the chat. Okay, Herschel Walker, he was not a mediocre player. He was actually a pretty good player.
He was good.
He was good.
Oh, you said that's what you? Yeah, he was good.
He was a good player.
Yeah,
not a Hall of Famer.
He's not in a Hall of Fame.
He's not.
He's
in a Georgia.
Is he Hall of Fame worthy?
No.
Statistically, no.
His trade is Hall of Fame.
He did play in Donald Trump's league, the US
SFL. Yep.
Ironically enough.
You know how to discredit somebody when you get upset.
No,
he did. That actually happened.
He did.
He won.
He played for the Cowboys.
He got a 30 for 30 about it.
He played for the Cowboys and was traded.
Your subtle shade is phenomenal.
The Cowboys traded their whole future. No, Minnesota traded their future for the Herschel Walker.
This is true.
In return, the Cowboys got Emmitt Smith,
Troy Aikman,
Michael Irvin.
That was a hell of a swap. Who was their agent? We need to have him come to Market Mondays.
They use
That was a
that
hell of a
Herschel trade to win 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, they leveraged that to build the most popular football team in the world.
92, 93, 95.
So because we have to be fair about the situation, he's not a mediocre player. He's actually
he was a good player.
Very good player.
Won a national championship for the state of Georgia.
Yeah, he did.
He's a bulldog.
Is Mark Zuckerberg the Jerry Jones of tech? I love the people faces when I come into Meta. I love it.
Is he the Jerry Jones?
Great start. Ego got in the way. Ruined the franchise. Still the face all in the videos dancing.
No, I can't. He's not the Jerry Jones.
Who is he then?
Spark when you started from an ownership standpoint. Let me think on that one. Because I feel like Jerry Jones, he's still widely popular. People still love his team. They still
Ego ruined the franchise.
His
But I
personality.
know the sun don't shine.
It won't allow them. His ego, from that standpoint, his ego won't allow his head coach to be great, which won't allow his team to win championships.
My entire strategy is for me to be the advocate for the employees that are at Meta to make him then listen. Everyone's going to say this is crazy. Third meeting coming Wednesday, though.
We got to be careful talking about the Cowboys. People are very passionate.
Cowboys garbage. Now, if y'all want to take some bets, I'll take all bets. Cowboys going to win the championship next 10 years. Please.
America's team.
Because Pittsburgh originally was supposed to be America's team, but they didn't want the title.
Well, that was their fault because the Cowboys are the most profitable team in American sports.
True.
And they haven't won in
great business person. Yeah.
They are America's team.
They are.
No debating that.
I think the Yankees might have passed them as the most profitable team.
I don't think so. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
But
the team that slaughters the natives are the most popular. Yeah. Speaking of which, Jay-Z and Jeff Bezos are potentially teaming up to buy the Commanders. What do you guys think of that? I'm getting better at these controversial segments and going to a good one.
Yeah. Daniel, I'm a Commander fan, so I want to apologize in advance for how we've looked over the past 20 years. I'm just a loyal guy to the 80s. We won in 87. We won in 91, and we haven't won since. And I'm just a loyal guy. So shout out to Clinton Portis. Shout out to Sean Taylor. Rest in peace. Some of my favorite players.
They should have just kept that Washington football team.
I like that.
That was
Washington football club was tight.
It's like a soccer. It's like a European soccer thing.
I think KD wants to be a part of that investment group as well. So
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they can put something together.
Shout out to Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
good guy.
Yeah.
All right,
and Kyrie.
Shout out to Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
hold your head.
Bro.
And shout out to all of the Cowboys fans. No disrespect.
Yeah, be careful.
No, I don't want no smoke with y'all.
That's what I said. Be careful, man.
The ownership needs to do better for you guys that are supporters and advocates and diehards for the Cowboys. I don't want to go through. I got to go to Dallas, I think, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so. You gotta be careful, man.
Can we do stock? Can we do a stock review?
Absolutely.
You want to run some down?
Yeah. Let's go through the list.
The pad ready. The pad. I'm gonna warm up the pad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where you guys need to pay very close attention if you're interested in making some money.
Absolutely. Let's go through NAPCO. Ticker is NSSC. Overall, I like it. The 5-year direction has been up. It's a sleeper. I will vote yes for that. Next ticker, ACDC. A few of you asked me about this. Absolutely no. Under no circumstances would I touch this stock. It was in the penny stock range earlier this year. Yes, it shot up, but it's not a good trade. It was at 218 in 2018. It's now $24. Please don't touch it. Next one, CRK. No, I would not touch that. Let's go to the next ticker, RDY. Dr. Reddy's. So maybe I don't love it. Next one, TPL, Texas Pacific. Yes, TPL I do like. All prices, I'm sorry I have to give a stock club, but I will tell you if I like them or not. The next one is Granger, GWW. Love. Especially in a recession, there's a few. GWW, John Deere, Home Depot. Those are two that I love. Granger's expensive. It's at $595 right now, but if you look earlier this year, it was at $456. And if you go back to 2021, it was at $369.17. So great growth for this one. Let's go to DE. John Deere, I like.
I was gonna say you just spoke about John Deere. Yeah.
Yeah. John Deere, I like. Murphy USA, ticker MUSA. You can put yes to that. I like that one a lot. Growth is great. G&L is the next ticker. Global Net Lease Inc. No, don't touch that. I wouldn't touch that. Mercado Libre. Wouldn't touch. I will wait to the 450s to touch that one.
I think when we spoke about Amazon, was that last week when we were talking about look at the countries and look at the economies that are building Amazon for their country. That's he just gave you the one for South America, y'all. That's the one.
Yeah. That's one of my babies. But any retail company right now is going to get beat up pretty bad. Next one is Boot Barn Holdings. No, I will wait until that gets to maybe $15 to touch that. Next ticker RGEN. No, I wouldn't touch. Costco, I like. Ironically enough, Costco has not had a negative quarter when I'm looking at my chart since 2010. In July of 2010, the price was at $32.49. It's at $488.55 now. If you've ever been to a Costco with the family on a Saturday, you can see the growth in there. Incredibly run company. I like. Another one is Halo. Halozyme Therapeutics, like a lot. They're a sleeper. I will wait to maybe around $24 to get it. They're at $46.28 now. And LIDAR, LIDR. The ticker I wouldn't touch. It's a penny stock. I wouldn't touch that. So it's only a few in the market right now out of that list that I like. NSFC, TPL, Granger, John Deere, MUSA, Costco, Halo. Those are the ones that are doing well. We're really going to get to see in a recession which companies are going to survive and going to do well. And I know it's painful to go through a recession if you've been investing, say, starting in 2020, but you're really going to get to see the great companies separate themselves from the companies that were just good or mediocre, but they were propped up by high interest rates. You have to learn to love this process of the market being down. And on a trading side, if you learn how to trade incredibly well in this market, when we get back to a stable, slow pace market, you'll be a master of the market as well. And if I made you money, please put yes in chat. Love you guys. And these are for long term, not options. I want to be clear. So if you try to do any spreads or anything, that's on you. These are for long term holds only.
Please hit the like button.
Don't lose your shirt.
Please hit the like button. Very important.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely, extremely important. Hit the like button and share. Very, very important. Okay. Moving right along. What are top 3 things traders should be tracking in their trading log?
Oh man, that's a great question. I know we haven't talked trading enough in the last couple of weeks, but number one, what is your return on investment curve looking like? So one of the things, and it sucks because in this market, if trading has been more difficult for you in the last 6 months because of the recession, please put yes in chat. And here's how to fix it. Once again, I went over it at the top of the show. If you're shorting, you want to put your stop at the top of the market of the previous day. If you're practicing a future, same thing. I know it gives you a lot more risk on your profile to make your also index go up a little bit more, but you need to give because how many of us has taken trades who got the direction right, but we got whipped out? Number 2, if you're going long, you want to put your stop at the bottom of the low from yesterday. And the second thing you want to track after that is your time in the market. So time in the market is going to tell you 2 important things. If it's less than a minute, either your target is really, really short, which I don't like to do in a volatile market like the one we're in now, or you're getting the direction wrong. So if you're in a trade for less than 45 seconds and you're getting stopped out, it's telling you historically that you're getting the direction wrong. If you're getting the direction right, you should be in your trades anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and a half if you're going for big targets. And the third thing that I want you guys to track in your journal, man, I don't want to say it, but I want you to manage how consistent you are in every part of your life leading into your trading. So are you meditating before? Are you working out? Are you doing your push-ups? Are you doing your reading? Because normally the chain that gets broken is the actions before. Like I know people who will turn on the computer 5 minutes before the market opens and be like, man, I got the direction wrong. I'm like, have you charted the S&P 500, top 30 companies, Dow 30, then went to futures? It's like, no, I heard a play on Instagram and from a fake Earn Your Leisure page, a fake Ian page, and I just want to hop in the market. So I really think during this recession, for those of you that are serious, you need to triple down on your chart time, and you need to mark off all of your levels on everything that you want to trade ahead of time, because that's going to give you your edge. So like if Meta is going to lay off hypothetically 3,900 employees at that amazing company, what would the direction of the NASDAQ future be tomorrow if they lay off 3,900 people, up or down? Please put that in chat. Like investing in trading is not that hard. What is usually off and broken is the discipline in other areas. Like even when you guys come to Market Mondays, the number one thing I want you to see you guys with is books or journals of some sort. That way I know you guys are doing the reading. And giving yourself the informational edge that you need to be able to dominate in this market. So those are the three things I want everyone to begin to track to be a better investor. Everyone, please put in chat. Trading is not hard. The hard part is the discipline. You got to get some of that David Goggins in you. Stay hard. I want you to get out there and start doing your. Are you reading? And I know people make jokes on TikTok. You ain't be telling y'all to read 50 pages a day. That's impossible. Y'all be sending 90 DMs an hour in invisible mode. And if you just got the money, baby. Anyway.
Invisible mode.
That's dangerous.
Hey. And they screenshot the invisible mode anyway.
Can you
or so I've heard.
Can you screenshot invisible mode?
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah, sure.
You have to hold it down to screenshot it?
Nah, once you swipe the page down, it goes invisible.
No. So like if you get a DM, it explodes. It's like a James Bond thing. Like it explodes in like 5 seconds. So you would have to theoretically hold it and then screenshot it before
some of these girls be screen recording everything. Fellas, I know because y'all be coming to me. Hey King, I'm about to get put on child support. What I do, pay it, baby. You gotta pay it.
Pay it.
That's the penalty for messing up.
Pay the
Discipline.
Pick the right one.
You can't euro out of that. You gotta pay the fine, baby. So. Ladies, can you screenshot the invisible mode? Come on. Girls, go break girl code. Yes. I didn't come here to hear about.
Ivy said yes. Ivy, thank you. Ivy has said yes. You can screen. She's done it before.
I don't want to hear about you getting caught up. You can't come to Market Mondays lives in Madison Square because you got caught up.
Charlie says, I have no idea.
Charlie's smart.
The invisible mode it was that was the era. It's even in Snapchat.
Not familiar.
They were screenshotting that too. So is the fella. Hey, but ladies, I'm gonna give you a
Snapchat
tip.
gave you notification if you screenshotted it. So now
I was.
But if you had two phones though.
Two phones.
There's always a way. There's always a way. Yeah,
we gonna make it do what it do.
It lets you know that you screenshot it. That was crazy. That's pretty good technology.
Because now you can't deny it. Now you got some explaining to do.
I know you saw it. You can unsend now. Too, on your chat.
On Instagram?
No, on your
iMessage.
Yeah, you can unsend.
Unsend
really?
Text messages?
Yeah, you can unsend now.
That's the latest update.
Yeah,
they should have been did that.
Whoever did that at Apple, kudos to you. They must have got caught up at some point.
Yeah, because WhatsApp had it already.
WhatsApp had it for years.
Yeah.
WhatsApp had it for years. Instagram had it for years. Like I don't know why Apple took so long.
Two great innovations by Meta and ran the company to the ground.
Shout out to Meta.
There you go, Mark.
Ahead of the curve.
There you go, Mark.
Boy.
Ahead of the curve.
They put one up on the scoreboard for you, my brother.
Ahead of the curve. Let's talk about this. Did Elon Musk make a mistake by laying off so many employees as soon as he came in the situation?
Did he make the mistake? I think the mistake is the brashness of it, because technically, and I mean, we got to check California state law or the where's Twitter's headquarters?
I don't know. That's a great question. I would assume it would be in
we
California,
got-
but
right.
I'm sure
That's
he's
what
gonna move it to Austin soon.
I would have to check the state law on how you have to fire people. Like, do they have to get a notice of 30 days or 60 days or 90 days? Is there law in place that goes into how people can be let go from a
I
company?
don't think he broke any law.
I don't know. I don't know what the employee policies are.
He's the richest person in the world, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows.
Oh, somebody said 60 days.
I'm sure he has good HR to not.
I mean, Kanye was one of the richest, and he set that off.
No, Kanye was never one of the richest.
They said Cali requires a 60-day notice, or
he was on a
pay
whole
the employee for
campaign.
60 days.
But no, Kanye was never one of the richest people in the world. Not in the world.
He was worth billions. What do you mean?
No, there's levels though. Elon Musk might be a trillionaire. You know that. Ian. There's levels. You know there's there's levels. There's levels.
No, there's but by definition he is. By definition.
By definition, but
I would be quiet.
There's levels. You got
Of
the
course.
Saudi Arabia.
True.
You got
That's different.
they're not even counting what they were.
Yeah. That's
Big
different.
facts.
They're not even on the radar.
Yeah.
Who also put money into Twitter. That's why I keep saying, like, the real richest people on earth, you're never gonna see. You're gonna fly under the radar or pay to stay out of the media. But go look who invested in Twitter. Diddy was one of them. I know Black Twitter was clowning him for investing in it, but the Saudi family put up a considerable portion of that money for him to be able to ascertain Twitter and take it private. And
That was interesting. I saw Puff's name come up in the conversation.
Shout out to Diddy.
Yeah,
He actually just invested $185 million into a cannabis company and has developed the largest Black-owned cannabis company in the world.
Yeah, and that would be an industry.
And he reposted.
He did.
Did you see that? Did you see that, Ian?
Yeah.
no, I didn't see that. I've been on
Yeah.
social.
And it was his birthday, so happy birthday to Puff too.
He did it on his birthday. So
Yep.
I did the green screen. He did the green screen thing, and he reposted it on his page.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
Well, when did he come? He got to come on assets of liabilities, Mark. Diddy, when you coming to the garden? What we got? The Tavio.
Tavio.
I got to do a show over there to get him up. We can make something happen.
I was gonna say, speaking of Puff and marijuana, depending on what happens tomorrow, if let's say the Democrats actually keep the position, that would be an industry, obviously, that you should be all right. Well, there may be some legislation that gets passed in the next couple of years in regards to marijuana. So that would be something like one of those industries, like, all right, let's keep an eye on that if things don't go the way that they're looking right now.
What are the top 5 tickers in the marijuana space?
Top 5?
MJ.
YOLO.
That's
those are ETFs though.
I know.
CNN, still no good.
Tilray.
Oh, let me look at Tilray.
Yeah, Tilray's taking.
Shout out to Burner. He's worth
Tilray is taking a beat.
Burner made the.
It's a great industry to be in, but it's a terrible
It's too
sector
early.
in the
It's
stock
not the
market
time.
to invest in.
It's actually not profitable right now.
Yeah,
it's not really as
Yeah.
profitable as people think. Even Burner, he was telling us he makes more money off of clothes than he makes off of marijuana.
Yeah.
It's highly taxed, extremely regulated.
Yeah, the only one I like in the space is still IRPR, and that's not like 100% marijuana. But if you guys are in the industry, great industry to be in.
Yeah. Until they figure out the taxing situation, it's gonna be tough. The taxes that are paid on marijuana, they're just ridiculous.
If we stay in a recession long enough, they'll be sure to pass some bills though, because you're going to need some more revenue. Because it's not going to come from tech for a while.
Back to the corner, boys.
Speaking of recession, what are the 3 final signs we are heading into a recession?
Segues are amazing. Number 1, massive layoffs. Like when we're seeing the top 20 companies in the world, like Apple has slowed down hiring and any spending outside of research and development that they're going to begin to cut
For the year.
That's scary. That is scary.
A hiring freeze for a year.
It's tough. For those of you who don't know, that's not good. When we start to see companies have liquidity issues and talk about potential bankruptcy. So to see the issue with like FTX and CoinDesk pop up, which I think Sam Friedman is crypto's version of Buffett. So to hear any rumbling of them potentially have issues, that really terrified me. I was like, I can't believe they're having issues now. Will they rebound? Will they be okay? Will they be able to get capital? Yes, but we shouldn't be having any concerns about liquidity inside of a company that big and with a team that is that smart. And also when I'm seeing small businesses are not able to pay their rent, so if the biggest companies in the world are laying off 13 to 20% of their workforce, small businesses have to lay off 70% just to stay afloat. And still politically, there's no one who's really given a plan to say, here is how things are going to be better. Like the entire economy has been run into the ground. We've sold off some major assets in the United States of America. We are not innovating fast enough. Most of the toll roads we've sold away. Most of the waterways we sold away. And the most technological thing that we've gotten in terms of innovation was reiterations of AOL Instant Messenger. Like IG is just a remix of Pinterest. We haven't had the innovation that we should have had for all the capital that has flown into all these companies. And I said it earlier in my story, even with the NFT market, and that was supposed to be the great savior, you don't hear one company that is publicly traded talking about using NFTs to save their company right now, or Web3. A lot of that was a crocker. Like a lot of these companies are going to die. And I know, Mike clip this up, Nikki clip this up. I know people are not going to like the take, but in 3 months, people are going to say that I'm right about it. We have to find new innovative ways to be able to bring in revenue. And I think I know The Lean Startup is a good book, but I think in this upcoming decade, we're going to have like super lean companies. And I'm talking 10 to 25 people in a company, and they may make $200-300 million in a year. After that report came out on Apple, immediately the first conversation a lot of people started texting me about is like, how can we run a multi-billion-dollar company with only 100 employees? Like, it's too much spending. Everyone is treating their budgets for their business like cash money in 2000 and 1999. Too much spending. And it's led to the degradation of America's best companies and our country. Look how much debt we have. It's terrifying. And it's going to get passed on to our kids and grandkids. We need better leadership. We need better systems. We need better innovation. Ian is not running for president.
They said my mic is low.
Yeah. Hit
the thing on the focus, right?
Yeah, turn the one up a little bit.
This?
Yeah, turn it up.
It was loud when you talked about Herschel Walker.
He suddenly has regressed.
How do I sound? How do I sound now, ladies and gentlemen?
Better.
A little better. So they said you sound good.
All right.
For the 99 and the 2000.
Can we take a couple questions before we wrap this? We haven't done this.
Yes.
Let's do it.
We're so happy to be back live. I love New York, man. I want to move out here.
New York, city that never sleeps.
That is true.
All right, let's do this. My brother. Let's see. Let's get my dog up here. King Arthur.
I knew it. Yes.
Unmute yourself.
Peace. What's good, bro?
Man, good to hear your voice.
First, I would like to say congratulations on your newborn. I want to congratulate you, man.
Right.
That is welcome to fatherhood. I'm hoping you are
appreciate
enjoying it, my brother.
I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
So the question I had is given that we have, you know, the situation that we're going into, Ian, where you said, you know, tech is taking a beating, everybody is overspent. What are those industries do you think that we should be looking to invest in and or build out that are going to actually, be profitable? Because I mean, at the end of the day, money is still going to be made. You
Absolutely.
know, so where are those places that people should look to invest? What industries and what industry should people be looking to start small businesses in and or work for as we move forward?
Damn, you asked great questions, man. We need to have you on every week. My two favorite sectors outside of tech is number one, healthcare, and number two, biotech. So biotech is a little bit more risky, but healthcare for sure. Eli Lilly, McKesson, Ecolab, United Healthcare will be like the top four. I'm looking
You took Stryker out of your top?
Oh, Stryker's in there too. I can't leave them out. All right. So those would be like everyone in chat. You can put those 5 in. Biotech is a little bit more risky, so you have to do a lot more research. As far as companies to build a business in, financial services is the number one. Now I've tweeted this publicly. The first company that can give a 20% return for 10 years straight will be the first $5 trillion company on earth. So if you want a big, big, grandiose idea, no one has kind of cracked that code, and I think I have a ideation on how to do it. Secondly, I think that the biggest businesses are going to be the one that solves the problems. And Art, we've talked about this before, but it has to get back to basics of what problem can you solve at scale. One is education. I like Coursera. I like those kind of apps, but if we can get a certificate like education, let's say from like a Harvard or a Penn or Morehouse, but distill that information to kids ages 3 to 8 and make it in super short form, multi-billion-dollar idea.
Yeah, that's good.
So-
Hey, Arthur,
Yes, sir.
you know why I'm smiling, right?
Why is that?
We just had this conversation the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me and Troy didn't have this conversation. Like,
That's crazy.
there's
that you said
little
that.
little things that people need to tweak, even on the crypto side. Like the promise and premise of crypto is amazing. Even if they just told their customer base like what the drawdown was, because most people aren't even looking at drawdown. But if you can have better risk management, if a company can for real produce 100% a year for 3 or 4 years, like El Salvador made a push for Bitcoin to become like the predominant currency, and it failed. But what if they would have called it at 20,000? By 2026, if it did go to 116, he would look like a genius, and then probably could forcefully go take over other countries. That's why I'm like,
Right.
price matters so much in everything. But those are just a couple ideas.
I know it's only supposed to be one question, but can I get a follow-up, fellas?
Of course, you family, go ahead.
All right. So given that you pointed towards healthcare, biotech, and those types of industries, generally, those are the industries that, they require a degree in order for you to move forward substantially, either in healthcare and in the medical field. I mean, even as a nurse, you have to go to college.
Mhm.
And so obviously, we've been in this movement over the last 3 to 5 years, kind of pushing the not necessarily to say that the college degree isn't important, but to say that there are other alternatives. Given that those are the two industries that and you mentioned education that you feel are very important. Do you think that it behooves our community to reconsider the importance of that college education? Because how do we move into biotech and the healthcare if we don't have those people with degrees able to actually do the work within those industries?
I would argue if people are not trying to, well, let me phrase this kindly first. Do you think enough people in our community want to move into the healthcare and biotech space?
I would say that I would say no. I would say we underappreciate the need to move in. One, as it applies to our community as much as our community actually needs it. And then two, just like you said, in terms of the profit opportunity, I think that our community has kind of been jaded to a certain extent to pursue those types of fields. But I think given the transition that we're going through right now, it's imperative. You know what I mean? It's imperative that we move into those situations. So one, we can take care of ourselves. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you want to go to a doctor that's Black, somebody has to be a Black doctor. So
Yep.
I mean, if I always say if somebody has to fight the war, and if it's not your kids, if we're not encouraging our kids to go be doctors, who ultimately becomes a doctor? If we don't encourage our kids to become professors, then who becomes the professor? And so I think that we're reaching a point now where our community, while we have now, in large part thanks to you guys, have realized that education is much broader than college, and we must maintain that push. I think we have to find a balance now where we must take a strategic
stance. Yep.
stance in moving into those industries. Otherwise, we leave ourselves vulnerable to the point where the healthcare and the education industries boom once again, and we're beholden to other communities to provide the healthcare that we need and to provide the education that we need. And, we're in the exact same situation we've been in for the last, 100 years.
I mean, I have an idea. Hypothetically, let's say if we can get 100,000 people to go to, let's take a Google, and we can say, hey, we see that Apple is, because of the watch and the data that you guys have been collecting, or they've been collecting, is going to make a big push into healthcare. And all of a sudden, because of 2020 and COVID, Google said, hey, if you have a certificate, you won't even need a degree. So if we can get 100,000 of us to say, hey, we know search is up 57.5%, year-over-year growth in cloud is up 57.62%, YouTube growth is up 46.9%. But if we can get 100,000 of us to get certificates, and we can now make a Google Health division, that will be your second biggest revenue driver next to search, which you'd be behind this initiative. Going back to everything that we bring to a company has to be dollar driven. Now, if we go and talk to Sergey and the board there, we have to come in droves and see that people will be able to pass, and then we'll be able to build a pipeline for tech, Google in this example, to dominate the industry. Because if you don't think that Google isn't looking at what Apple is doing and saying that I can take out Lilly or McKesson or Stryker in comparison with all the data that they have, and even though with all the numbers and growth that YouTube has had, the overall growth for the business year over year is only 34%. The healthcare space alone will put them probably at 83% year over year growth and give them a 100-year path to prosperity. Then we may have a solution.
Sounds good, man. See you guys in New York.
Awesome.
Thank you, family. I appreciate you.
Always a pleasure, my brother.
King Arthur's Court. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And Meta, if you choose not to listen, I'll go to Google or TikTok or whomever. Fan base. Shout out Isaac Hayes.
Shout out to Isaac.
Yes.
Nicole, what's going on? Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted.
Hello, guys. How are you?
How you, Queen?
All right. So I have, you guys made an interesting comment to kind of educate us on voting, because I was one of the ones is, look, we voting for one sector and they're not doing anything for specific to us, right? So with the information you gave us, have you already thought about or put plans in place to do like a EYL Black Super PAC? I think it could be simple as, if we got 40 million Blacks in the country, allegedly, everybody can give a minimum of $1 at minimum, you know what I'm saying? Or $5. And then we throw our rich Blacks in. You know, you guys have met a few. You guys are popular. Why couldn't we? Why shouldn't we? And what plans can we put into place now to get that going? My morale is down. I'm tired of our people apologizing, folks not educated on their history, and we divided. Let's just do something about it and put the money together and change things.
It's a great question. Rashad, you want to take it?
It's called Stay Tuned.
Yeah.
It's called Stay Tuned.
Nicole.
It's definitely something that,
Yeah,
I mean, for sure. I mean, you know, that was the whole point of just even, you know, having that conversation, is to kind of, you know, of course, stuff like that, you know, it takes time. But yeah, no, that's what you just said. Everything you just said is kind of already in line with a lot of the things that, you know, at the very least, I don't know what everybody's thinking, but at least what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that's why I called 19 Keys. I spoke to Ian today, this morning. And, you know, I feel like, yeah. Why not?
I think a lot of times, if you listen to how when we do interviews, a lot of times we ask questions because we're prying for information, right? So if somebody has information, we're going to try to pry it out because we feel like it could be beneficial, not for us, but our community. And so when you, it's kind of like a little cliffhanger, but when you hear the episode, you're going to hear these type of questions because we want to know, because I feel like implementation is the next step. But we need to know the steps to make sure that we're doing it correctly. And we need to know it from the people who are in that, you know, the positions of power or in the positions that have the knowledge. So yeah, you're dead on. I feel your passion. I feel your hurt. And so that's what we're here for. We're here for solution-based options, and we're here to create not for us, like I said, but for generations to come. Like we said, we've seen the history, we understand the history, but we also here to make history. So stay tuned alert has been issued.
Yeah. I mean, my main thing, being an investor, the number one, everyone please write this down. The number one thing in every venture that you take upon is risk mitigation. My only thought about this movement is that we need to be quiet in it. Like, hypothetically, name me the top 5 biggest donors of the Senate Leadership Fund.
Maybe
Red
probably.
Go ahead, Queen.
Well, if you say top, I'm gonna think of people who have money or who are in power right now. So it would be the Jewish, it would be the gays, probably. And this is just off of I'm seeing I see them getting things done. So obviously they got some money, right? Maybe the NRA, because all these school shootings, but we can never get guns banned. You know what I mean? Maybe Apple, maybe Microsoft, maybe the top corporations. So that would just be my guess off the top of my head.
As Rashad would say, I said it to say, if we do not move in silence, the reason why I didn't even want him to say it earlier is I'm if we can just be very honest, and I'll say this in the most loving and kind way to everyone. We're the only group and community on earth that announces, I'm going to pull up on you when I see you, and now we're going to go to war. Everyone else just goes to war. So even and who is funding and even the leadership, the celebrities, athletes, etc., I think that plan has to be crafted, initiated, and deployed very carefully and quietly while not choosing to disrupt the powers that be.
I agree. Because, we never heard about anybody raising money and we just see things getting done. So to us, it looks like, oh, that's racist, but I don't even think that matters. I think if you put money in somebody's hand, they're going to do what you want them to do. You know what I mean? I'm to the point where I don't care if you don't like me. If we can do business and both of us can benefit from it and we both feel like it's fair, then I'll work with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how are they doing? What are they doing? Are they holding meetings once a year at a place? Like,
let's take a TV timeout. Only because I don't want any of us to be in jeopardy. And whenever I see Rashad do this to his head, because I stress him out a lot.
Just
so that's the TV time at.
I actually have a headache. But I appreciate the comment, and definitely, something that we definitely have to work towards. And but I wanted to say this. Let's talk about the top 10 donors, because it is public information. Top 10 donors for midterm elections this year. So let's start at number 10 actually and work our way up to the can anybody if anybody can guess 3 out of the 10, then we'll give them a surprise.
Without using Google.
That's gonna be tough.
Oh yeah. Larry Ellison is the 10th. He's donated $31 million to Republican campaign.
CEO of Oracle.
Oracle CEO.
Peter Thiel, co-faunder of PayPal.
PayPal
number
Mafia.
9. He donated $32 million to the Republicans. Stefan Schwarzman from Blackstone Group. He donated $35 million to Republicans. Fred Eichner, he donated $35 million to Democrats. Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yes, FTX fame.
He donated $39 million to Democrats.
Buffett of crypto.
Timothy Mellon. He donated $40 million to Republicans. Jeff Yaz donated $47 million to Republicans. Kenneth Griffin.
Yeah, I like Ken got to be on there.
Donated $68 million to Republicans. Richard Una donated $80 million to Republicans. And number 1, George Soros donated $128 million to Democrats.
Power, money to get power, power to protect money. George Soros, what fund? King Griffin, Citadel, shout out Citadel, JP Morgan, GTS, New York Bank of Mellon. This is why I tell you, if you get into finance and understand investing, your job at that point is to understand the price points in which to buy everything. Politicians are for sale. So in the grand scheme of things, talking about levels, politicians are like acquiring artists. So the president will be Drake. The super PAC and Ken Griffin will be Lucian Grange. Midterm elections, maybe 21 Savage. The game is the same. It just has different players in it. Money to get power, power to then protect money.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
The views expressed here are not representative of Earn Your Leisure, Ian Dunlap, or Red Panda, the Red Panda Rebellion, or 19 Keys, or Wall Street Trapper. Please don't cancel me. I ain't got the bag. I got like a little duffel. I'm trying to get a big bag. Boy, if my MetaPass don't work, these were not my comments. Boy. Mr. Beast, hit me back in case we need a backup channel. Boy, I may be on Brilliant Idiots with Schultz this week.
at this rate.
My boy can say what he wants to. He was straight.
Nah. I haven't. It's been a long day.
I'm a headache causer. I know. Baby, I'm a headache causer, ain't it? Yeah, see? Yeah, big headache giver. I know. He was like, oh, Lord.
Please, no.
Google.
No.
We went too far. Shout out Kyrie. Love you, boy. There's certain things we got to tiptoe around. I'm uncancelable except in like 2 areas. I don't want to go nowhere near them ponds. Pond de replay. Pond de boat. Ooh. We're gonna start making. See why we pre-record? We're gonna make these 45 minutes. Jada Kiss Cafe. Thank you for the research.
Yes. Kiss
Yes.
Cafe. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Kiss, man.
Yes. Shout out to Kiss.
And
shout out to the good folks at Ally. I want to let you know about a great choice if you're looking to invest. Ally is a leading digital financial service company with passionate customer service, innovative financial solutions, and our relentlessly focus on doing it right for both our customers and our communities. Get with Ally so you can save, invest, and spend on the things that matter most to you. For everything we need, we're all better off with an Ally.
Yep.
You always
Shout
need
out
an
to
Ally
Ally.
call.
Absolutely. Ally, can we please hop on your YouTube channel tomorrow? Just in case.
Praise you the website.
oh,
Drake
man.
top 3 all time.
Of course.
They
He's
did-
top
You gotta
5.
start having.
He's top 5 for sure.
He may be the most consistent of all time.
You feeling the album?
I really am. Like he wanted, because everybody want feeling the techno joint that he put out. Like if you go to like Mexico or Miami or something, you do your little Miami poppy vibes.
Yeah.
Good album. But he came back rapping
Yeah.
on this one. Yeah. The most consistent of all time. LL held that title for a long time. I don't know anybody more consistent than LL was consistent as hell for a long time.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, he got
Drake's getting in like
he's in his own lane.
J territory.
Yeah. Basically.
Say what you want to about the boy, but
Her loss.
I lost.
Yeah. Nah,
that's what I tell all my
enjoyed
exes. Her loss.
it.
Baby should have stayed. Might clip this up.
We thank them. No, we thank them.
No, we thank them. Yes, I wouldn't be the man I am today
Exactly.
without the experiences that we shared with each other. And I was not as good as I could have been.
Exactly.
Yes,
How much
man.
you've grown from the experience, how much you've learned and matured.
That's why I love life flourishing now. You see me glowing?
You know what I'm
Got my
saying?
T-zone right?
You have to go through that to get to this.
Yes, everything. Yes. Bad relationships are a considerable investment. Please consult your advisor. If you have to ask her to believe in you, she does not. Pick someone who does, and you shall flourish. This is brought to you by the good folks at EYL and Ian Dunlap and Red Panda. Madison Square, Earn Your Love. When that's dropping? February 14th?
February 14th. With
The
Cupid.
Tavio. Hand me draw paperwork.
Get the Tavio on the phone, please.
Somebody called Tavio.
Listen, what are we doing?
Please get the Tavio on the phone. It's much needed. Can we get one more question before we finish this?
Yes, please.
Let's go to LA Green. Oh, is it
That's
La
a
Green?
dope name.
Hello.
What's going? Is it
It's
La
good,
or LA?
yeah. It's LA. It's definitely LA for sure.
Oh, all right,
know.
all right, LA. What up, man?
What's good with it? I just wanted to ask if going back to the Kanye West situation when JP Morgan froze his bank.
Tread
froze
lightly.
his
Hold
account.
on. TV timeout.
Yo, type the
No.
question in chat, bro.
Cool.
Type the question in chat,
No,
bro.
it ain't one of those. It ain't one of those.
Okay,
I just
thank
wanted
you.
to know, like, would a better alternative would have been if he would have put that money into the JP Morgan stock, or could they still have forced him out of that?
They wouldn't
No,
have been
they
able to force him out of the stock.
Yeah, there's nothing they could have done with that.
I don't think so. But
Yeah, no, they wouldn't have been able to force him out. But also when the amount of capital that he had, it wouldn't be wise to put all that capital into one stock if that money was for the company, if he still needed to buy materials and raw materials to make the Yeezys and products and things of that nature. So yeah, that's all I will say about that. That would have been.
You don't really strike me as the type of person that invests in stocks, though. I could be wrong, but he doesn't seem like the type of person that's interested in investing in stocks.
Huge mistake.
That's one of the reasons why I kind of knew his net worth was the majority of it was tied up in Yeezy, and we found that out the next day after that fell apart. But I think that he will. I think he'll be back though. Direct to consumer. I'm hearing some information. So
yeah, me too.
It looks like
it's gonna be risky.
I think he has a good
I
shot.
think the first 3 months will be solid. After that, it's gonna be tough. He has a history of not. Well, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to reveal things that I'm not supposed to. I do hope he gets legal representation in his corner that is not acting as power of attorney. That's been and definitively I can say that from multiple sources. I'm playing the Stephen A game now. Multiple sources have told me that.
Yeah.
And also, when you have an attack similar to the one that he is going through, that is not by coincidence. I'm going to tread lightly. It is not by coincidence. Who put those people in place to destroy that brand? And so even the bipolar narrative and the medication narrative, you got to go look at what the clause said in some of those agreements on who could take over the company if he was on or off medication that was not there prior to certain relationships. But what do I know? I'm just a dude who picks stocks out. Meta, I will see you Wednesday though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Gay, I feel like he had the rant when he was talking about he didn't invest in crypto, but I know I feel like he bought Kim $100,000 worth of stock or some crazy number like that. It was Apple, Disney, and Amazon. So he's familiar with it.
Which were great picks and bought them at great times.
Yeah,
like, he's not an idiot. Like Kanye is smart, but he needs people around him that he can trust. And then also another issue with not listening is usually a sign of lack of trust in the people around you. On one end, I can argue Zuckerberg needs to listen to employment and the leaders there. Also has a trust issue. Same with Kanye. But that is also done by design to help tear apart your company. Because remember, even with if you look at the narrative of Zuckerberg, Kanye, this was the exact same branding plan that they ran on Steve Jobs to push him out of Apple. And then they destroyed Apple. And after Scully couldn't manage it the way Steve could, they had to bring him back in. The biggest component I want everyone to focus on in this downfall, in this current moment of Kanye, is the negotiation of his contract and never give anybody power of attorney in your business. Huge mistake. I don't care what no manager tell you. Don't do it.
Give me 50 million, I'm gonna quit. Period.
Quit.
Period. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very eventful Market Mondays. Madison Square Garden, 11/27. Jadakiss is confirmed. Peter Peter Tuckman will be in the building. Josh Brown will be in the building.
Mhm.
Ralph Jones will be in the building. Sussman will be in the building. Don Peebles will be in the building. Master Investor.
Two
Earn your
Stock
leisure.
Shakur. Earn Your Leisure will be in the building.
Special
Trap coming.
surprise.
Trap. I need you to come too.
There you have it. All stars.
I'll pay. I'll have it. Joe Biden, what are you doing? You coming or not? Me and
Joe
Trap
Biden.
ain't doing no more Patreons unless you come. What we doing?
Patreon.
What are we doing? We put some Corey. What we doing? Shout out to the team. And congrats to Ian for getting married a couple weeks ago as well too.
Shout out to Joe Button Podcast. Shout out to Math
Hoffa, you coming?
My expert.
This is
opinion.
Hoffa.
Shout out to them, man. Shout out to Rory and Maul.
Yeah, shout out Rory Maul.
They was in London right after we left London.
Where?
Yeah, they did a show.
Oh,
in
that's
London.
fire.
Oh, like they had a live show out there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's fire.
Okay.
So shout
Damn,
out to
couldn't
all
wait.
the
85 South, horrible. Yeah, horrible. Why all the podcasts breaking up? And go back to my question I asked though a couple weeks ago. I don't know why they don't want to just do a bunch of.
I don't know what they
punches.
make, bro. I don't know. I don't know what they make.
You know, you just smart. You won't be stupid like me and put all the business out there and make enemies. I'm learning.
The
Tavio.
Where's the Tavio when you need him? Where's the Tavio when you
Shout out
need
to
him?
him. He got his own. He got his own show. He got
They
his own
dropping
show
a
now.
bag over there, Revolt. I'll say, boy,
Shout
maybe I
out
go
to-
pick me a little satchel up. What we doing?
Shout out to Dion. Shout out to the Tavio. Revolt has done the best job of amplifying Black voices and diversifying their content. And they need that be credited for that. And say what you want about Diddy, but he employs more Black people than anybody else in the space. That's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact. His whole staff is Black.
And a lot of them are women.
Yeah. Not a lot of people have that. Like I said, say what you want about Diddy, but and I've seen it firsthand. Literally 90% of his staff is Black. A lot of people it's the other way around.
We've been to a few companies.
Charlemagne the God. Oh, what are we doing tomorrow since we're not gonna be on? I'm learning. But he did make a good point. He was like, it's election day, so it didn't make sense.
Okay.
So
yeah. Hey,
more reason.
Before we go, I want to let everybody know that this Sunday, a special person in the UIL family is having his birthday. And so I want everybody to wish him a happy birthday in advance. Abdullah, my brother, I don't even know what to call him at this point, man.
MVP.
I've watched this young man since he was 9 years old, y'all. 9 years old. So to have him celebrate another year of life, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Is his birthday today?
Nah, Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Okay. I was like,
So
okay.
I want to wish him a happy birthday. Everybody go hit him up on IG. Go follow him. This dude is one of the hardest working people, one of the most organized, one of the most dedicated, one of the most diligent people that I know, man. And so I'm so proud of him. More life to you, my brother. We shall live it up. We shall, you know how we do, man. More bottles. So
shout out to Abdullah, man. The youngest in charge. He's the youngest in charge, and he's a very efficient person. And he's extremely detailed and very intelligent. And
absolutely
very impressive.
Superstar. I asked him behind the scenes in London, King, how many tasks you get done per day? 100, 150? So yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, he's always working, bro.
Gets it done, man.
Always working.
Nashville, Tennessee. We will see you this weekend.
Yeah. Surprise.
Or maybe we won't see you this weekend.
Wait, what?
Both things could be true.
Maybe we won't.
Could be. Shout out to my mom and dad.
We will be at the iHeart. What is it?
I don't know what it's gonna be.
Don't. Yes.
Yeah, we could be there.
It's a celebration of events.
Yeah. That is true. That's true.
First time in Nashville. Shout out to my guy Loon. I gotta hit him up.
Yeah, shout out Loon.
Oh, he's out there?
He lives there.
Loon cooking. Yeah, he lives there. Loon cooking, yo.
Oh, wow.
And Slim and Husky, we gotta hit them up also.
Our boys, yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee. What's the vibes? I will be
Nashville
there
fire
for good time, not a long time. You know
Not a
how
long
this
time.
thing goes. Friday night, we outside Nashville, Tennessee. You know, anytime we come to the cities, it's a motion picture in the
Gotta go to
making.
BB King. Okay.
So if you're in
Yeah.
Nashville, what is the vibes? Let us know where to eat. Let us know where to go Friday night specifically. And yeah, my first time in Nashville, so I'm looking forward to it. Nashville is a very rich city when it comes to
Absolutely.
music. It is very integral in the musical landscape, the blues. Um, very rich history when it comes to music in Nashville. So I'm looking forward to that. And a lot of
Good food.
a lot of good people. Rest in peace to Daryl Freeman. He was from Nashville. Slim and Huskies from Nashville. Snoop,
Yes.
Two Chain's
yes,
partner.
Yes.
She's from Nashville.
Oh, she from Nashville? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Went to Vanderbilt.
I think so.
Yep.
My guy Loon is from
Yeah,
Nashville.
Lone
So
amazing.
we got a nice little Nashville crew.
Lone got Umar and Lil Baby. I said, boy, you cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely did.
Loon's doing his thing right now.
Definitely
Shout out to
did.
Loon, man. Good dude. Good dude. I'm happy that that's happening for him.
Absolutely.
I think he's on Quality Control. They have a podcast label. I think he's on that. But
Mhm.
good dude, man. Super solid. And I like his social media clips. He's very entertaining.
Entertaining. Yes. It's my guy.
Yes, yes.
I told him, I'm like, he is what Taxstone would have been if Tax would have stayed out. Podcast Jeezy. I don't have no back end deals with Lil. I just rock with him. I like him. He's solid. He's solid.
Facts. All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Harvey episode coming out tomorrow. That's the Invest Fest
Classic.
live conversation. That's one of them ones. Wait till you hear the Donald Trump story. And wait till you hear the Miss America, Miss Universe story. Drewski.
It's a lot of pressure too. Not to cut you off, but man, he put on a hell of a show on that stage. Like even seeing a bit behind the scenes and like he was almost tired, and he like lit up when it was time. Man, I had to leave. I'm like, that's a lot of pressure going after him. After Tyler. Ooh, let me go recalibrate.
Yeah.
So for anyone that is on social media, if you are building a forward-facing brand, please go watch that episode to see how he performed also on stage. The information was great, but his cadence, the timing, the jokes, the business, like I wouldn't have took notes for 3 hours on how he went from comedy to serious to God to business, like that arc. And I still don't have the algorithm for it. If y'all can make that call and, maybe speed up the process. But I think that's one of the best interviews. Of course, the first one was classic, but just to see him live, and he put on the masterclass on how to present information is one of the best I've ever seen.
We got another one.
That's a fact. Got one.
Got
And
another
shout out to Drewski. Assets Over Liabilities on television
Check
right
it out.
now. And the YouTube comes out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm gonna get some sleep, man. I'm tired. I've been traveling around the world for 2 weeks. We went from Columbus, Ohio to Chicago, to LA, to New York City, to London, to Paris, and back again.
We get to sleep in tomorrow. At least it wasn't at 5 a.m. this time.
Fact, man.
Yeah.
That's a fact. But the show must go on no matter what. So keep the ball rolling, keep hustling. The year's almost over. Finish strong.
Yep.
And
Plan
yeah.
2023.
Y'all
Put
be
in
good,
comments,
man.
biggest lesson y'all learned tonight. Love y'all.
Love is love. Be good to each other. Reach out. Go text somebody. Call somebody. Tap in with your people. Love is love. Peace.
Peace. Get some rest.